So in this video, in this lesson, we understand the organization of the registers. As we started with the memory and we understood the purpose of every register and we understood the purpose of the register set, now we are all set to design the register logic. As I already told you in the previous videos that these registers can be organized in three different ways. The first one is single accumulator organization. Second one is a general list organization. And the third one is stack organization. We'll start with the single accumulator organization because it is going to serve as the mother of all the register organizations. That is, if you can understand the single accumulator organization, then general list organization and the stack organization are pretty much easier to understand. Okay, so here let me take, that is, there is a single accumulator organization, general list organization, and a stack organization. Stack is necessary for both single accumulator organization and general list organization, because you people know that the importance of the stack. You people know the importance of the stack. For every program that you are executing, a stack is required. So in both single accumulator organization and general list organization, we need to organize a stack. Let us design single accumulator organization. Okay. The registers in the single accumulator organization are as follows. These are the registers you can see in the single accumulator organization. Okay. There will be a program counter. This is something called program counter. This here it is written as program register. And there is an address register. There is a data register. There is an accumulator. There is temporary register. There is an input register. And there is an output register. So we do have a total of 8 registers available in single accumulator organization. Starting from the here the order is somewhat jumbled. The first register is a program counter. The second register is the address register. And the third register is the instruction register. Fourth register is the data register. Follow the order carefully. Here it is given in a table, so they didn't follow an order. But here, let me explain you the proper order of the registers in the processors. Starting with the program counter, followed by an address register, followed by an instruction register, followed by the data register, followed by an accumulator, followed by a temporary register, followed by an input register, and followed by an output register. This is a specific order of the register set in single accumulator organization. So here, if you can observe, each and every register is going to serve for a specific purpose. Okay, that is, each and every register is designed in such a way to store a certain data. That is, address register, for an example, address register is going to hold the addresses. Program counter is only going to hold the address part of the next instruction. Similarly, each and every instruction is going to serve only for a specific purpose. So these are called special purpose registers. Here you can clearly see the order: program counter, address register, instruction register, data register, accumulator, temporary register, input register, and output register. This is the total, the snapshot of the CPU, in which there is a main memory. The main memory, of course, you people know that the size of our main memory that we are designing, that is equal to 4096 words. Each word is equal to 16 bits. So the total size is 4096 words and one word. That means that one word in the main memory is equal to 16 bits, in which the address part should be equal to 12 digits. That is because the memory is equal to 4096. 4096 is equal to 2 power 12, 2 raised to 12. So we do require 12 address digits, okay, and 16 data digits. So try to understand here. When it comes to the registers within the CPU, we need to specify the size of each and every register, because register must have a size. It can be 8 bits or 16 bits or 24 bits. Okay, but how we define the size of a register? Try to understand. What is one word size in the main memory? One word size in the main memory is equal to 16 digits, right? So the size of each and every register must be equal to 16 digits, because when a word is getting transferred from memory to the register, this register size should be equal to the word size in the main memory, because the words within this locations of this memory will get transferred to the registers. Got me? So the size of every register must be equal to 16 digits. If you can remember, the architecture size is 16 digits, right? The architecture that we define is 16 digits. That is the reason why one main memory location size is equal to 16 digit. Then one register size is also equal to 16 digit. So here there is a relationship from the architecture to the memory word to a processor's register. If the architecture size is equal to 16 digit, then the memory size, memory word size should also be equal to 16 digit. So then the register size should also be equal to 16 digit within the CPU, because the architecture size eventually defines the size of either a memory word or a processor's register. If the architecture size is equal to 16 digit, then the word size either in the main memory or in the processor's register should be equal to 16. If the architecture size is equal to 32, that means the CPU size is equal to 32, then memory word size should be equal to 32 and processor's register size should also be equal to 32 digits. So everything is at par to the architecture size. Everything must be equal to the architecture size. Okay. But here, when it comes to the CPU registers, some CPU registers will be of different size. Okay. Why? Let us have a look at. When it comes to the CPU size, sorry, when it comes to the register sizes, some register holds the addresses. Those registers should be of the size of the address. What is the size of the address? Size of the address is equal to 12 digits, right? Let me put it here. Size of the address is equal to 12 digit. Address size equal to 12 digits. Why? Because 4096 is equal to 2 power 12. So the address size must be equal to 12 digits, right? So here this part should be equal to 12 digits. Some registers will hold the address part of the memory. Okay, what are those registers? Program counter is going to hold the addresses. What kind of an address? We'll see later. But program counter, you need to understand, it is going to hold the address part. So if it is going to hold the address part, the size of the program counter should be equal to 12 digits. Okay. Similarly, address register will also be used to hold addresses. So the address register size should also be equal to 12 digits. Okay. So program counter and address register sizes must be equal to 12 digits. Rest of all the registers will be equal to 16 digits, except input register and output register. Why input register and output register are different in sizes? We're going to discuss in the next videos. We'll talk about the input register and output register later. Now, the important registers for this particular point of period is remaining all the registers except this input register and output register. So let me list out all those registers. The first register in the CPU is the program counter. Second register in the CPU is address register. The third one is instruction register. Fourth one is the data register. Fifth one is accumulator. Sixth one is temporary register. These are the registers are really important to hold the data when an instruction is getting executed. Okay, now let us understand what is, basically, what is the purpose of a register? Okay, we will clearly discuss about the purpose in the next video, but at this point of period, try to understand this, general purpose, rather, the purpose why it is being used. Program counter is going to hold the address part of the next instruction. Okay, I'll take you people to this one. See, let us say this program counter is, this is the 23rd instruction. Let us say there is an instruction inside. This is a 23rd instruction. What will be the next instruction? Next instruction is a 24th instruction, right? So this is the address of the current instruction. This is the address of the next instruction. When the CPU is executing this instruction, program counter holds the address part of the next instruction. When the 23rd is getting executed, program counter holds 24. When 24 is getting executed, program counter holds 25. So the program counter is eventually is going to hold the address part of the next instruction. Okay. Yeah. What is address register? Try to understand. When the CPU want to access the data in the main memory, an address reference should be sent to the main memory. For an example, CPU want to access the data which is in 45th location. Okay, I will write it here. Okay, there is a 45th address under which there is one word. CPU wants to read the word which is available in the 45th location. Okay, so for that, CPU should be able to send the address reference that is equal to 45 to read the contents of the 45th location. So CPU sends an address. So this address will be located in the main memory. The moment 45, the address gets located, the data which is under the specific address will be transferred to the CPU. Okay, so for that reason, CPU initially should be able to send the address reference which is equal to 45, whatever. Currently we want 45th address. So CPU should send an address reference 45 to memory, after which once after the 45 gets located, data under that specific address, the word under the specific address will be accessed by the CPU. Now try to understand. When CPU wants to send an address reference, first of all, CPU should be able to load this address in the address register, because address register acts as a mediator between the memory and the processor. This is memory and these are the processor's register. Whenever CPU want to communicate with the main memory, CPU will send the addresses. But CPU don't send the addresses directly. CPU will have to use address register to locate an address into the main memory. So for that, the 45th address, which is required by the CPU currently, should be transferred to the address register. Okay, whenever address register is loaded with an address, now let us say address register, I'm loading 45. Okay, CPU transfers an address 45 because 45 must be located in the main memory. Immediately, the moment address register is loaded with an address, immediately it will be located within the main memory. Within the main memory. Okay, this address part will be located in the main memory, under which the contents of the data will be accessed by the CPU. this is what the purpose of, this is what all about address register. The purpose of the address register is to hold the addresses which are referenced by the CPU to locate in the main memory. Okay, try to understand. There are several registers. There is accumulator, data register, input register, and temporary register, instruction register, program counter. Why CPU wants only address register to communicate with the main memory? Try understanding this very carefully. This address register has a direct connection to the address part of the main memory. That is, this is the address part, this is the data part, right? This address part will be directly connected to the address register. That is the reason why CPU is going to use the address register to knock the door of these addresses. This address register and the address part are both connected. Okay, so that is the reason why CPU is going to use address register. So one more important point is, during the course of instruction execution, when instruction is being executed, several registers may receive an address. That is, when you execute an instruction, an address can be received by any of these registers. But eventually, all these registers must be able to transfer back these addresses to the address register, because none of these registers are directly talking to the memory. If at all an address has to be located in the main memory, only one guy is going to do it. That is address register. That is the reason why whichever register gets the address, that address should be transferred back to this address register. For an example, a data register receives an address, main memory address. During the instruction execution, somehow or the other, data register accidentally receives an address. But can data register communicate with the main memory, the address part? No, data register cannot communicate with the address part of the main memory. Who is the person can directly talk to? Who is the only person can communicate with the address part of the main memory? Only address register. For that reason, data register should send this address back to the address register for getting it located in the main memory. Anytime any register, if it receives the address, the responsibility of those registers is transferring back that address to the address register. This is the thing. So I hope you understand this, the purpose of the address register. That address register is mainly to locate the addresses in the main memory. Every time when CPU references an address, to read the corresponding word under the address, that address will be transferred to the address register. Okay, that is it. So in the next video, we're going to discuss about the remaining, the registers and their purposes.